Welcome to today's episode. This time we're going to be talking about sleep hygiene, circadian rhythms, dreams, methods to get to sleep. What else do we talk about, Brittney?
Visitors in our dreams,
Oh, yeah.
long-term effects of getting good sleep versus not.
Mm-hmm. Sleep routines, getting to bed, and all that stuff. So, lots of stuff about sleep. And some of the things that we talked about, we might be touching on it later because
Yes.
we discovered that we maybe want to dig a little deeper on some stuff. So
hmm
maybe for another time. If there's anything else about sleep that we didn't cover today that you want to hear about, let us know, and we will incorporate that when we do a circle back. All right, this way in to your sleep. So I guess we can jump right in talking about
Yeah.
sleep.
We're just gonna wing it. I like it.
Just wing it.
Yeah. So, of course, we know sleep is important. How important is sleep? What do you think?
Well, I know it's extremely important in ways that I didn't even know until recently. Like, I just thought it was that you had to be alert so that you could function as a human.
hmm
But there's so much more. I'm learning that it has to do with physically, with your body, with your heart, with your brain health, and all this. It's not just how you act in that day,
hmm
and if you don't get good sleep, it compounds things that are wrong, and then things in the future go wrong because you didn't get sleep in the past. And
hmm
so I'm sure you can fill us in on a lot more of that. I don't really know a lot of the details, but I just know that it is way more important than I gave it credit for.
Yeah, it's way more important than I think most people give it credit for. I mean, we're all so busy and we have so many things we want to do and have to do. And it's like, gosh, I wish I had another 24 hours in my week or another day in my weekend or whatever. And
Hmm.
a lot of people will sacrifice sleep so they have time to do these things that they need to or
Hmm.
want to do.
Hmm.
Especially people who have kids, they want some adult time. They want some alone time. It's just leave me the fuck alone time, you know?
Yeah.
So people will sacrifice their sleep. And I don't know if that's what you necessarily want to sacrifice, but I'll let you make that determination by the end of this episode. So, the most important thing about sleep that I could say right off the bat is it is, like you said, it's very important, not just for our physical health, but for our mental health, for our relational health, all of these things. And when we sleep, there's this phenomenon that happens of when our cerebrospinal fluid will kind of wash over our brain and it will help to remove the plaques and the buildup and of just the brain processes that happen during the day and night too, of course. But that's what really helps with the physical healing, the mental healing, emotional healing, so on and so forth, is the cerebrospinal fluid will again wash your brain for you.
That is bizarre. I've never heard that.
You never heard that?
No.
Yeah, and most people haven't.
That makes me think. I'm picturing like a brain going through a car wash.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. And so
That's
what
so wild.
people it is wild. So what people basically explain what happens is with each brain process, it builds up like plaque. And so the same thing with our teeth. When, the more we eat, drink, whatever, the more plaque gets built up on our teeth. It's not the same kind of plaque, but it's the
Okay.
same concept in a way
Hmm.
because the more plaque builds up on our teeth, we get more gunk, we get more tartar, the more um, diseases your mouth can form, like gingivitis. We know
Hmm.
that's bad. But when that happens in our brain too, and we don't get enough sleep to wash these plaques and tangles away, then we end up over long term can develop with my gosh words. Long term, we can develop things like dementia and Alzheimer's.
Mm.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I remember when my grandmother uh, was diagnosed with dementia. They called it hardening of the arteries,
Mm-hmm.
and explained that that had something to do with the plaque building up in her arteries. Is the plaque in your arteries the same kind of plaque that is in your brain?
Not necessarily.
Okay. Okay.
Right. So it's like with our teeth, our hearts, our brains, it's different processes, it's different kind of tissues and whatnot. So, like with the plaque in our teeth, it's like bacteria essentially. Plaque in our heart is more cholesterol, that kind of stuff. Plaque in our brains is more, I don't even know what to call it other than just proteins.
Okay.
And so it's different processes, different uh, things that constitute what
Hmm.
the plaques are.
Hmm.
And I wish I had something more specific and scientific than that, but that's the best I
Yeah.
got for you off the
No,
top of my
that's good.
head.
That's good. So when you mentioned that leading to Alzheimer's dementia, my mom is in that stage now, and she has always had the worst sleep habits.
Oh, wow.
She sleeps, I don't know how many hours she sleeps. She definitely sleeps a lot more now, mostly
Hmm.
because she's bored and there's nothing else to do, she thinks. There's
Sure.
plenty of things for her to do. She just doesn't want to do them.
Mm.
But she, all my life, has been staying up until 3, 4 o'clock in the morning and then
Hmm.
sleeping and then getting up at, nowhere near 8 hours of sleep to start her
Hmm.
day. She just cannot sleep at night and she prefers to be awake at night and doing things. She's a night owl.
Sure.
She always has like functioned better at night.
Hmm.
And so she would be up all night. And then just in recent years, she would go to bed at about the time I'm getting up, like 6
Ah,
a.m.
wow.
So, and then she's up for lunch and whatever. So she's not sleeping enough.
Hmm.
And I don't believe she ever has.
Yeah. I- that's a really good point you bring up. Like, there's nothing wrong with being a night owl, but you still have to get sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah. From what you do remember about your mom actually getting sleep, was it restful?
Probably not terribly restful because she's a very light sleeper. So if
Hmm.
any noise happens, she's, what? What?
Hmm.
What was that? So
Yeah.
I doubt she's ever had a truly many, very many truly good 8 hour chunks of sleep, restorative sleep.
Sure.
Wouldn't shock me.
Yeah, and which is unfortunate because
Hmm.
maybe she didn't have to develop Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean, there is dementia in her family,
sure.
but everyone so far is a different kind.
Yeah.
So if nobody else was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a
Hmm.
different kind of dementia. One brought on by alcoholism, one brought on by
Hmm.
vascular. And so they're all different.
Yeah.
And she would not necessarily have gotten it. I mean, because of the past history of the family.
Hmm. Right.
So it is quite possible that it was responsible in some part is the fact that she never really got good sleep.
Yeah. Yeah. There's so many more things that is detrimental to us if we don't get good enough sleep, but this is probably the worst one I can think of.
It's pretty bad.
It is. I wouldn't wish Alzheimer's on my worst enemy.
No, no.
It's
Or
just
anybody
it.
who knows them.
Yeah, uh-huh. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good point. Yeah. I mean, of course, short-term effects of not getting enough sleep is not that big of a deal short term.
Hmm.
But those short-term effects are essentially your cortisol is higher, so the stress hormone, cortisol and adrenaline, they're both higher. Your brain functioning is not as quick, it's not as functional. It's a lot easier to forget your words or get lost in the middle of your sentence, like what was I talking about? It's harder to focus and concentrate. These again are just short-term things if you don't get
Hmm.
good enough sleep.
Hmm.
So, if you think about your stress response hormones being higher, not being able to think straight, being more irritable for sure, if you think of this as just short term, what can you imagine happens long term with lack of good sleep?
Oh, yeah. I imagine all of that's compounded
Oh, yeah, definitely.
because it does sort of stack up as it's going. Can you can you catch up on sleep?
Ah,
Because
so
I've
that's,
heard yes and no, and it sounds like if all these things keep compounding, if you don't get sleep,
hmm.
is there ever a way to make up? Not like make up for 5 years of no sleep, but make up
Right.
for 2 days.
Sure. Sure. I'm not going to get super technical here. Yes, you can catch up on sleep if it's short term.
Hmm.
If it's a long-term chronic lack of sleep or sleep deprivation, then it's not necessarily catching up, it's getting back into a good routine.
Hmm.
So let's say you're having a great weekend, you're partying, you're having fun, you don't want to sleep, it's just too much fun. Maybe you're at a rave and you took some MDMA or something. You can't sleep literally. Whatever. I'm not judging. Have fun. So let's say you're not sleeping for 2 days and then you go home and crash. Well, if you crash, which means you're asleep for like 12 to 24 hours straight with some potty breaks or whatever in between, then yeah, you're going to make up for it as long as it's not necessarily a substance induced sleep.
Yeah.
Some medications like benzodiazepines, which would be like Xanax and Ativan, that kind of stuff, and like prescription sleep meds, Lunesta, that kind of stuff, those will get you to sleep and they will help you sleep hard, but it's not necessarily restful sleep. And so, depending on what's influencing your sleep, it will be good, not so good, or not good at all. Okay. Alcohol is one of those things where it's going to help you fall asleep, but it's not going to help you stay asleep.
Nope.
So, it's counterintuitive. Some substances are very counterintuitive. Some other substances are actually very helpful with sleep. I've heard across the board that cannabis is very helpful for sleep. It just depends on your body and who you are and what you like and that kind of stuff. So if you need sleep, I would not suggest Lunesta or that kind of stuff. It's going to help you fall asleep, but it's not the kind of sleep that's going to be restorative to your brain. And some people will fight me on that. That's cool. If you have good experiences with that and you feel rested, great. That's fantastic. Keep doing it. I'm happy to hear that. But just pay attention to how your body feels with any substances. You might change your mind if it's helpful for you or not. So anyway, I'm going to get off that soapbox. You can catch up on sleep if it's not a chronic thing.
Okay.
So that's not what I'm worried about. What I'm worried about is the chronic lack of good sleep.
Right.
So if you find that you're one of those people who just can't get a good night of sleep to save your life, then this next section's for you. The first thing I got to throw out is sleep hygiene. What do you know about sleep hygiene?
I'm not really sure what that means technically. I just know like my watch has a sleep hygiene section, which it tracks me while I'm sleeping and it tells me in the morning how my heart rate went and my what else? Oh, temperature, body temperature, which is all over the board lately. But so that I assume that sleep hygiene is sort of that, and I'm sure other things as well. Just a combination of things that that your body's doing, or that you want to make sure your body is doing or not doing while you're sleeping.
Essentially, sort of.
Okay.
So sleep hygiene is essentially the practices that you take to give yourself good sleep. So with just basic hygiene, it's like brushing your teeth, washing your face, that kind of stuff. Those are the practices you take to make sure your physical health is okay. So if we're looking at oral hygiene, then before I go to bed, I brush my teeth, I floss, I do a mouth rinse, I put my retainer in. What happens if I don't do that? Well, the next morning, if I put the retainer in and I don't brush my teeth or floss at a minimum, it's super gross. I don't know if you've had a retainer, but
I haven't. No.
yeah, then you don't know how this is. It's gross. Trust me.
I've seen people take their retainer out and the big string of sweat or of saliva that comes out. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I would probably be brushing my teeth all the time if I had to wear that.
Yeah. So essentially, sleep hygiene is just the practices you take to help ensure that you have a good quality night's rest. Okay. So sleep hygiene is essentially going to bed and waking up at the same time every day. It's doing a wind down routine. It's doing a wake up routine. So sleep hygiene can look vastly different depending on the person. There's nothing wrong with that. For me personally, my sleep hygiene is, it's like 10 o'clock. Let me go take a shower. Let me go brush my teeth, whatever. Start doing my wind down routine. I play solitaire on my phone. We watch an episode of something. And then it's hop into bed, maybe play on my phone a little bit, hopefully not be on Reddit or something too long, and then lights out. So I could tighten that up. I certainly could. But it's my routine that helps me get into the, sleep mode, and my teeth are taken care of, my hair is washed, blah blah blah, whatever, and that really helps to set the stage.
Hmm.
If for traveling or whatever, it's really important to still maintain sleep hygiene, even more so, especially if you travel different time zones and if you're in a different place. It's hard to fall asleep in a bed that's not your own.
Right.
So sleep hygiene is even more important when you're traveling. So, with that being said, I'm curious, do you have a bedtime routine or anything that falls under the category of sleep hygiene?
I guess so. I pretty much do the same thing each night. I brush my teeth, put my hair up, get in my jammies, and crawl into bed. And I know this is probably not what you're supposed to do, but I crawl into bed early
Hmm.
and then play on my phone or listen to podcasts or, uh, you know, usually that's it, one or the other or both at the same time. Um, just because my bed is so comfy now.
Mm.
And so because now I have a duvet. Um,
Oh,
and so it's super comfy. And so I look forward to snuggling in my bed.
hmm.
And so that's a time where my brain gets to wind down a little.
Yes.
And I know that you probably shouldn't be on screens, but actually, I think I mentioned before that I have this game on my phone that's a coloring game,
Hmm.
and it will knock me out.
Yeah.
It's so soothing. It's got soothing music,
Hmm.
and it's just a repetitive ding, 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 ding kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Hmm.
And pretty soon, I'm like, the tablet's falling on my head or something. So it really does help me sleep.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
in some instances, even my watch will think I'm sleeping. If I
Yep.
play that game in the middle of the day, I'll get a notification that says, "We just clocked you at a 20-minute nap." I'm like, I was wide awake. But
Right.
obviously my heart rate slowed and
Hmm.
all of that. So
Yeah,
so that's pretty
absolutely.
much my routine for getting to sleep.
Yeah. And if that works, that works. I know some people will be like, "Oh, that blue light from your tablet or whatever."
I do have
Eh.
I have it's a adjustment in my phone and my tablet
Mm.
that has that the blue light is off or whatever. It's a different
Yeah.
thing. So
Uh-huh. So it helps.
yeah.
Other people will say, "Oh, don't have screens in your bedroom at all. No TV, no
Hmm.
phone, no screens." But I'm a proponent of not having TV in your room, but
Yeah, I don't have a TV.
eh, eh, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever works for you. That's the fun thing about sleep hygiene is it's got to work for you. It doesn't matter if it works for someone else or not.
Hmm.
If someone's trying to criticize you for your sleep routine and it works for you, fuck off, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. If
Yeah,
I want
exactly.
advice, I'll ask for it.
That's right. Uh-huh. So the main tenets of sleep hygiene, it's basically to follow your circadian rhythm, and your circadian rhythm is the natural phenomena in all of us that helps us to fall asleep, wake up, fall asleep, wake up, so on and so forth. So every single living creature has a circadian rhythm. Us as humans, typically, we fall under we go to bed at night and we wake up in the morning. That's not everyone's circadian rhythm. I mean, clearly your mom's was not that. There's nothing
Right.
wrong with that. It's about figuring out what your circadian rhythm is doing and how can you play to your strengths with that. If
Hmm.
you're a night owl, which a lot of people are, nothing wrong with that, maybe second shift or third shift would be better for you than first shift.
Hmm.
I'll admit, after I got my bachelor's degree, I was working at a job second shift, which I initially hated, but then I was able to party a lot more.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was.
Isn't second shift like 3 to 11?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
everybody I know is asleep by 11. So
Yeah, exactly. So after I get off my second shift, I'd go party. I'd be able to be up till like 3, 4, whatever in the morning. I'd wake up at noon and go to get ready for work. It was great.
oh,
And until I wasn't partying anymore. So
yeah.
whatever. I was a lot more night owl when I was younger. I'm finding that even though I'm not that old, as I get older, it's goddamn, I'm turning into a curmudgeon.
Yeah. Oh, I'm too. I used to be a night owl as well.
Yeah.
I couldn't get up before 10 a.m. School was
Uh-huh.
terrible for me. School was
Yes,
so hard for me, high
it
school
was.
especially.
Yep.
So hard. I was probably half asleep for most of the day.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And so, side note, teenagers need more sleep than I think any other age group, and no one gives them credit
Hmm.
for that. And teenagers
Hmm.
need sleep later in the morning than anyone else.
Hmm.
But
And yet
yet,
they make us get up and be
uh-huh.
at school by 7.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Ridiculous. Hmm.
Exactly. Especially if you, and I don't know how this was for your school, but in my school, if you're in any extracurriculars, especially band related, that was all in the morning. Jazz band, marching band, it all
Oh.
started at 7 in the morning.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was only in choir, and that just took place during the day.
Sure.
But then I was in cheerleading, and that was in the evening. That was
Yep.
after school.
Yep. No, there's special sadistic people who scheduled all this band stuff. Seriously, anything band related, extracurricular, was 7 in the morning because all the
Our
sports are
school
after
started.
school.
Yeah,
Your
our
high school
school
started at
started.
7?
It started at 7:15. Yeah,
Oh, God, that's terrible.
yeah. I think the teachers just want to get out by 3 o'clock. Start
But
early, end early. I
but
think
that
school
doesn't
was
make
over at
sense.
2:30.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it we started at like 7:15, and we were done by 2:30.
Okay. Jeez Louise. I was going to say if you went till 3:30 starting that early in the morning, yuck.
That's a long day. Yeah,
Yeah. Wow. Anyway, so gee, teenagers need more sleep than the rest of us.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, growing, they're growing, and
Yes.
their brains are
Yes.
growing, and
Yes.
we don't want to stop that.
Mm-hmm. That's
God
right.
forbid.
For real. Yeah. So anyway, back to circadian rhythm. It really depends on what your body type is. Like night owl, not necessarily like pear shape, apple shape, whatever, not that kind of body type. But yeah, what your circadian rhythm really is doing.
Hmm.
Play to your strengths. If you're a morning person, great. Early bird catches the worm, right? So have at it. It doesn't really matter. What matters is um, letting yourself go to sleep when your body wants you to, waking
Hmm.
up when your body wants you to, if you can. So, how do we follow this? It's a matter of paying attention to what's going on for us physically, emotionally, mentally, whatever. So, just feeling how we feel going to sleep, that's one thing. And then feeling how we feel waking up, that's quite another thing. Um, so, if you're not tired when you go to sleep, maybe changing some things in your sleep hygiene routine would be helpful. If you are super tired waking up, definitely changing some things in your sleep hygiene routine would be helpful. If you're feeling refreshed in the morning and you were able to fall asleep, no problem because you were tired, perfect. You got it down. Keep doing what you're doing. Fantastic. So, with all of that being said, the most important thing isn't necessarily how many hours of sleep you're getting, it's what's going on in your brain while you're sleeping.
Hmm.
Some people can sleep for 5 hours every night and they're great, perfectly refreshed. They function well, their brain's firing on all cylinders. That's fantastic. If you can get away with that, more power to you.
Hmm.
There's actually a term for people who need like 5 hours or less hours of sleep a night and be fine. They're called non-somniacs,
Hmm.
which is different from insomniac.
Hmm.
So an insomniac is someone who can't sleep, and a
Hmm.
non-somniac is someone who doesn't necessarily need sleep.
Hmm.
Wouldn't that be nice?
That would be nice. I'd have a lot more time in my day.
Look, yeah.
I know when
Yes.
I was younger, I had figured out at some point, I think it was in college, I had figured out that if I slept 4 hours, no, 5 hours or less,
Mm-hmm.
not less like nothing, but like 2 to 5 hours,
Uh-huh.
I could get up and function.
Yeah.
If I slept more than 5 hours, I had to sleep at least 8. If
Mm-hmm.
I woke up in between, if I had 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours of sleep,
Mm-hmm.
no, I was not. It took me a long time to gather my thoughts and get going and be present and all of that. So I either had to have what people would consider too little sleep
Mm-hmm.
or too much.
Yeah.
That sweet spot, that unsweet spot for me in the middle,
Uh-huh.
no, that was not good. And that's about where I am, what I am every night now is somewhere in that, what used to be my non-sweet spot.
Uh-huh.
So it's weird. It's obviously changed over my lifetime.
Yes. It will. And that's a fact for everybody. Your sleep cycle will change over your lifetime.
Okay.
Yeah. especially getting older. That I don't know enough about how the sleep cycle changes when people get like, 70s, 80s, whatever, but it definitely is much harder to fall asleep, much harder to stay asleep. I'm gonna have to look into that more, but that's
Yeah.
just kind of a fact across the board.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
definitely have more trouble staying asleep. I can fall
Mm-hmm.
asleep pretty easily. But if anything wakes me up in the middle of the night, it's hard for me to get back to sleep,
No, yeah. Yep.
especially depending on how much time I'm awake or how awake I've become,
Mm-hmm.
or if I have to go outside and it's cold,
Yeah.
or, all of that can determine if I'm able to fall back to sleep or not.
Yeah. That's right. Absolutely. So all of that makes a big difference, of course. And what you described, like getting, not enough sleep, you felt fine, or getting too much sleep, it was okay. Was that not sweet
Hmm.
spot in between? That really falls under the sleep cycles.
Hmm.
So we all have sleep cycles, and essentially it's for awake to light sleep to deep sleep to REM sleep to light sleep to awake. That's a typical cycle. It's not always like that. But the way it cycles, depending on how it cycles, we can get caught in a sweet spot or a not sweet spot. For example, if I'm right in the middle of dreaming, I'm in my REM sleep, my alarm goes off, it's really hard for me to wake up.
Hmm.
It's not deep sleep, but it's not light sleep either. To me,
Hmm.
that's the hardest stage of sleep for me to wake up from. I can wake up from deep sleep and be okay, but if I'm dreaming, man, it really throws me off for a while.
Hmm.
And it just depends on the person. Some people who wake up from deep sleep are super disoriented and they don't know what time it is or where they're at or who they are. And it takes them a while to wake up from that too.
Hmm.
So, depending on where you're at in your sleep cycle, you'll either feel great or you're going to feel like shit.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like to use alarms.
Mm
When I was working, for someone else, I had to be somewhere at a certain time, so I
hmm.
had
Mm
to
hmm.
have an alarm.
Mm hmm.
And now the dogs are my alarm, my
Yeah.
first alarm, to feed them. But then I always go back to sleep,
Mm
and
hmm.
then I sometimes I'll sleep till 9 o'clock. Sometimes I don't get back to sleep at all.
Mm
But
hmm.
it all depends on how I'm feeling, and I at least now I have the luxury of not having to get up by an alarm for a certain
Yeah.
amount, sorry, for a certain time of day.
That's great.
Most days. I mean, some days I have things going on, but not all the time. So
Mm hmm.
that is nice. It's if you can do that, because that's a good way to tell where you are in that, like in those cycles.
Yeah. That's right. And I wish we all could just wake up naturally like that.
Yeah,
I wish.
I
Uh,
wish that would be nice.
if you have to wake up to an alarm clock, though, I'm going to suggest getting an alarm clock that sounds like anything but the old standard of fucking terrible.
I know,
Oh, those are the worst.
and it's so alarming. I
Yes.
mean, you're like, what? Especially if you're in a dream and you're like,
uh,
the fuck was that?
yeah.
Yeah. There's some of my alarms I have on my phone, they ramp up.
Hmm.
So you can pick like a sweet little melody and it starts off quiet and then it gets louder and louder and louder if you don't turn it off.
Yeah.
So that, I think if you have that option. So yeah, if your phone does allow an alarm that ramps up nice and generally or
Hmm.
nice and slowly
Hmm.
to a louder sound, that I find that helps me a lot to not be
Yeah.
like startled.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's got to be something that's going to get you awake, but not in a startling way. That's maybe it'll help get you moving in the morning because we do need a little jolt of cortisol to help wake us up, but not that much cortisol. That's just going to set us, on a wrong foot for the day.
Yeah. Especially if you're already having a weird dream.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but when I'm dreaming, outside noises um, incorporate themselves into my dream.
Yes.
And so then you wake up and you're like, wait, I'm in bed? It's very confusing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, that's so funny. I gotta tell a little story about that because that's real. That happens for a lot of people. So when I was a kid, um, Me and my siblings, my mom and stepdad were on a road trip somewhere, I don't know, Colorado, Minnesota, I don't remember where. But anyway, my sister was asleep and I whispered some stuff in her ear while she was asleep, like the guy she had a crush on. And so when she woke up, I'm like, "Oh, did you have any dreams?" She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "What'd you dream about?" And she's like, "Oh, I dreamed about this guy." And I'm like, "Oh, that was too." I started laughing.
That's funny. I love it. I tried to mute myself because my dog won't shut the fuck up.
Oh, you're okay. I
Can you
see.
hear her?
Yeah, I can hear her.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Because sometimes Zoom cuts it out, but not this time.
Yeah.
It'll go on for an hour, so there's no point in trying to wait her out.
Yeah.
She'll be doing that as long as he's here.
Ah,
Anyway,
that's okay.
yes, that's funny. So she actually did have a dream about that guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it.
I think I was like 10, she was 13 or so. So, I mean, it was just funny to fuck with her.
Yeah, of course. It's your
Yeah.
job as a little sister.
Uh-huh. Well, I tried to at least pay her back from all the fucking around to me that she did.
Right.
Anyway, wow. So, yeah, dreams are funny because we can influence them. And there is a thing as lucid dreaming, like we can actually control our dreams if we know we're dreaming. I'm sad to say I've only had one instance of lucid dreaming in my life.
Oh, really?
Some people are experts at it.
I'm not an expert, but I've had it happen several times.
Ooh, nice.
Not necessarily on purpose.
Right. Yeah.
It just happens, and I'm like, this is bizarre.
Uh-huh.
And there's always a little clue in the dream that lets you know that it's a dream.
Mm-hmm.
And so it'll be like the door is 5 feet off from where it's supposed to be in the room. And that's how I know I'm dreaming.
Yeah. I wish I could say I, again, could pick up on that kind of stuff. What happens to me is my dreams are too realistic and I think they're real when I'm in the dream. And I'll give an example of this. So another time when I was a kid, I dreamt that I was in bed. It was like Saturday morning and I sleep in, I still do. And so I dreamt that I wake up and I'm like, okay, I just need to get out of bed. And I couldn't move. I couldn't get myself out of bed. I've thought about, I just need to get up out of bed and walk to the door and get out of my room. But I couldn't move because it was a dream. I was dreaming that I was awake,
Yeah.
that I just couldn't get out of bed
Yeah.
because I was literally still sleeping, couldn't get out of bed.
Yeah.
And that was frustrating as hell.
I bet.
When I woke up, I'm like, oh my God.
I have a lot of dreams where I wake up, in quotes, wake
Uh-huh.
up, start doing something, and
Yeah.
then I wake up for real. And I'm like, wait a minute, I thought I was already awake.
Yeah,
It's bizarre.
it is bizarre. And you're like, damn, I wish I had that thing I got done was already done.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I have to shower again?
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
dreaming is so weird. So is lucid dreaming when you know you're dreaming or when you don't know you're dreaming? Because
lucid is when you know you're dreaming.
okay.
And
So
then
then
you
what
have
is it that we were talking about when you think you're awake but you're actually dreaming?
I don't know if that has a real name,
Okay.
but essentially that's just what it is.
Okay.
I know. I'm gonna have to look into that too. Is there such a thing as opposite of lucid dreaming? But yeah, lucid dreaming is basically you know you're asleep, you're in a dream, and oh, I can control this dream. Never gonna have
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. I have done that. That is I'm like, now I'm going to hear the sound of water draining. And I do. And then, it's really weird.
Yeah, it is. You can train yourself to lucid dream. I don't know necessarily what it entails, but I know you can.
I've heard that too.
Yeah. I don't care enough. I just want to get some good sleep. And if I
Yeah.
have some fun dreams along the way, cool. If I don't have bad dreams, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
those are the worst. Sometimes we wake up from dreams that are so emotional or terrifying or whatever, and we're still feeling those emotions. We're waking up crying. That's always fun. Yeah. So in REM sleep, that's when we're dreaming. This is not when we have like sleep paralysis. Our bodies are quite functional physically in REM sleep. Deep sleep's a different story. That's when the sleep paralysis and our bodies aren't moving really comes into play. So in REM sleep, we can actually physically act out our dream, that kind of stuff. That's when we're more tapped into the stress response when we're asleep. And that's why when we have these super emotional or realistic dreams or whatever, we wake up feeling it because our stress response is physically on, even though we're asleep. And that can be a real problem because
Hmm.
we don't want our stress response on. It prevents us from sleeping or sleeping
Hmm.
well or getting to deep sleep. The higher intensity stress response is on, the less sleep we're going to get.
Yeah.
So oftentimes we do wake up from these dreams when our stress response is on because it's not a survival thing to stay asleep. If our stress response is on, we need to survive, so we need to wake up.
Hmm.
Um, have you had any dreams like that where you woke up just feeling super emotionally intense?
Yeah. I had not too long ago, I had a dream that I was in a car accident
Ugh, wow.
and I was sitting in the car and it was a dream that felt like it was real.
Mm,
And so I didn't know I was dreaming
mm-hmm.
and I thought it was real.
Yeah.
And Greg was driving. I was in the front passenger seat and we were careening toward um, uh, like a cement wall.
Oh.
And I could see that we were going to crash into the wall.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the cement come up to my face
Yeah.
and then I didn't wake up right away. I just laid there. And so at that point, I still thought it was really happening.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I finally woke up, I was like, oh, and I realized I was in bed.
Uh-huh.
It took me a while to realize you're in bed, you're not in a car, you're
Mm-hmm.
not smashed up. And it was it was a very weird feeling to finally come back. But then I was uh yeah, I felt like well, first of all, I was angry because I'm like, why did you drive us into a wall?
Right.
Um, but then I was also relieved, but also scared, and it was a whole mishmash of stuff.
Okay.
All right, so yeah, uh, emotional dreams. Yeah, have had some of those emotional dreams.
Yeah, so you woke up from that one feeling angry and just still shocked and
Yeah,
relieved.
relieved, and yeah,
Yeah.
it was bizarre, and it took me a while to go. Oh wait, that was a dream.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, I tried to piece together why did I have that dream?
Ah,
Was that like, am I going to be in a car accident, or like, was it a prophecy dream, or
right. Yeah.
which,
Sometimes we have premonition dreams, but most of the time it's just a direct reflection of something that we've been thinking about either consciously or subconsciously. And so what you said, angry that he drove you into a wall, like maybe that's a metaphor for something that was actually going on that you were pissed off at him for.
it could be, yeah. Well, and somebody who does likes to uh, try and decipher, I guess is the word, dreams,
Hmm.
said that everybody that's in your dream is actually you.
Oh,
So in that dream, my husband would have not been my husband. It was
hmm.
actually a piece of me
Uh-huh.
so it's maybe myself doing something to sabotage me.
Ah, sure. I don't know if I buy that though.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know either. It's possible. I couldn't think of anything. But, I've heard that also that it's just your brain processing things that happened to you or things you've been thinking about for the last 72 hours.
It doesn't have to be the last 72 hours. It could be something that's been on your mind throughout your life.
Okay.
It could be an old grudge. It can be something from childhood that you wish was different. I mean, it doesn't have to be anything recent. This could just be anything that's been on your mind consciously or subconsciously that you're dreaming about. Um, and I definitely don't buy that. And now that I'm thinking about it more, I don't buy that every person in your dream is you
Okay.
because there are other people in our lives more than just us. We're not the only
Yeah.
people that are an important character, you
Right.
know? For example, a dream that always sticks out to me, I had an ex in it, and my ex murdered me. And I came
Oh
back
my
as a
gosh.
ghost. Yeah, exactly.
Ah,
I came back as a ghost to avenge my murder. And I rounded up
oh,
other ghosts that he murdered or hurt or whatever. And we had a little spirit posse and we exacted revenge or whatever.
oh my
So,
God.
yeah.
I love that.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And so to me, this ex was an abusive prick. And so this dream was wanting justice for the harm he caused, not just to me, but to anyone he got harmed. You know what I mean?
Sure. Sure. And obviously those were not all pieces of you.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So really, dreams are can be abstract. They can be very concrete about what's on our mind. Sometimes we have dreams, and it is literally this was going on in my life. Now I had this dream about this thing, and this is how it resolved in the dream. Maybe I can resolve this in real life that way too. Sometimes it's that concrete, but sometimes it's really abstract. Most of the time, it's pretty abstract. So there are some aids to help interpret your dreams. I use dreambible.com. That's usually pretty accurate. But
Okay.
there are other ways of dream interpretation. It's really just checking in with yourself.
Hmm.
What does it feel like physically, emotionally? What's the theme in this dream? How does this translate into themes in my life? So if you just spend some time thinking about it in a little bit deeper level with some mindfulness, you can probably figure out the dream yourself. But there's symbolism that I think is fairly universal somehow, and I'm not entirely how. A lot of the time, it boils down to our culture and what the symbolism means.
Sure.
For example, just culture and symbolism. A lot of people will say like, "Oh man, I said this in a room full of people, and all I got back was crickets." Well, we know what that means. It means everyone was silent. It was so silent that we just heard the crickets outside doing their little chirping.
Hmm.
I said something like that to an older lady a few years ago, and I'm like, "Yeah, I just got crickets back." She's like, "Crickets? What do you mean?" I'm like, "Oh,
Oh,
oh, okay. It means no one said anything." Oh, you
that's
know,
interesting.
because in cartoons, especially like Disney movies, that kind of
Yeah.
stuff, if it's silence, we just hear some cricket chirps. And
Yeah.
it just means it's an awkward silence. So
Yeah.
anyway, it's you know what I mean.
Huh. Yeah. Yeah. Was this person that didn't understand? Was she like from a different culture or was she just
No,
older?
she was just older, and honestly, she's not that
Interesting.
much older.
Really?
Yeah, I would say she's probably in her very early 70s now.
Okay.
And this
Oh,
is like
okay.
5 years ago when I talked to her about this. So no, she's not that old.
Huh.
And she's grandkids and all of that stuff. It's not like she
Yeah.
hasn't seen these pop culture references, but basically at least everyone around my age knows what crickets means.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
so anyway,
I'm a good bit older than you and I know what it means.
yeah,
So,
exactly. That's right. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Interesting.
the dream symbolism really is a shared cultural thing.
Mhm.
So in our culture, if I dream about a cat, it's something. If it's another culture, I dream about a cat, it means something else. So it boils down to our shared culture and what these symbols mean. So dreambible.com is really based on our culture, Western symbolism, that blah blah blah. So how we interpret our dreams, again, it's very dependent on what's going on in your life, what has gone on in your life, what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what your motivations and intentions are, blah, blah, blah. So the best interpreter of your dream is you.
Hmm.
And that's the best I can say there. Some people will go to other people and be like, oh, this is the dream. And what does it mean? Like, go to a psychic or something like that. And they'll be like,
Yeah.
oh, it might mean this. But honestly, again, you're going to be the best interpreter of your own dream.
Sure.
So if you are dreaming, that's a good thing. That means you're getting REM sleep. That's the sleep stage you want to be getting to. Do you know how long it takes without REM sleep before someone will literally die?
No.
Like 11 days.
Really?
Yeah. People have to sleep. If you are sleep deprived for days, you're not functioning. And if you go without REM sleep or just sleep period for 11 days, you're going to end up dead. At least that was
Well,
the
I,
statistic I heard last.
yeah, that makes sense. Obviously, we need that restoration.
Yeah.
But for my other show, The Activity Continues,
Hmm.
the Dead Files episode that Megan and I just talked about this last weekend when we recorded, the family told Amy Allen that they hadn't slept in 8 years. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, you'd be dead if you
Yeah.
hadn't slept in 8 years. I
Yes.
can understand you haven't gotten good sleep
Yeah.
because of all the ghosts and stuff in the house, but
Right.
I think you've slept
Hmm.
in 8 years.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. 11 days.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy because
Yeah.
our brains have to keep processing and
Hmm.
referencing back to those plaques and tangles that build up from these processes. If we don't sleep, we're not getting the cerebrospinal fluid washing over our brain, washing away these plaques and tangles. The more it builds up, it's like we end up getting Alzheimer's in a very, very short amount of time, and our brain just won't work anymore.
Yeah.
And if our brains just won't work anymore, that means our bodies can't work anymore either, because it's our
Right.
brain that starts with the autonomic nervous system that gets your heart rate, your breathing, all of the automatic stuff going. So
Hmm.
if your brain's not functioning well enough to do that, your body's going to shut down and die too.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So,
So,
is it possible, like when you say we're catching up on sleep, if you didn't get to that sleep and had the brainwash,
mhm.
that's not what I mean, but rinse,
Yes.
then when you do get the sleep, it still will, it'll wash over, but maybe it doesn't get to wash everything.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like if you go a week without brushing your teeth and you just brush your teeth like you normally do, you're still going to have plaque and tartar buildup.
Hmm.
You're essentially going to have to get a professional cleaning by a dental hygienist or whatever to get all the heavy junk off. And that's
Yeah.
essentially what happens with sleep too.
Okay.
So if you're not getting consistently good quality sleep, you're not getting rid of all of the built up plaques and tangles in your brain.
Hmm.
So that's why it's so important to consistently get good sleep because you can catch up here and there, but it's not going to get in the nooks and crannies of the brain uh, wrinkles, for lack of a better
Sure.
term, like you would if it was a routine clean.
Sure. So I imagine that whatever damage those pieces will do to the brain tissue, it could still be happening if you don't get that wash in between.
Yeah. Yep. And so it's the interesting thing about that is with dementia, Alzheimer's especially, it's the outer cortex of the brain that starts deteriorating first. And that's where the plaques and tangles and stuff start building up first.
Yeah.
And so that's what makes Alzheimer's so insidious is it's the cortex that's your thinking brain that really makes you a human.
Hmm.
And so that's when the simple things start getting forgotten, like where to put my keys.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I could go on and on about that, but that essentially is why Alzheimer's is doing what it does. It's because the cortex of the brain starts deteriorating first because of the plaques and tangles being built up
Hmm.
there, especially.
Okay.
Yeah. It
I'm
gets,
surprised that the medical community hasn't figured out a way to do that washing, rinsing on demand, you know?
well, they just kind of figured out the cerebrospinal fluid washing in the last several years.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think anyone particularly knew this was a thing more than 10 years ago. I think
Okay.
this is a newer discovery.
Sure.
Plus,
Interesting.
there's been a lot more funding and research on Alzheimer's in the last 10, 15 years.
Hmm.
And so this, I think, is a result of that research that's being done,
Hmm.
which is good. It's good to have
Yeah.
that research. It's good to know because
Yeah.
hell, even over 10 years ago, there was like, oh no, I think what I read over 10 years ago was like today, there's supposed to be like over 50 million people with Alzheimer's.
Wow.
Yeah. I'll have to look up that statistic again because I'm wondering if it's worse or better than what they predicted 10 years ago of where it would be at now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that. But anyway, the moral of the story is consistent sleep is better than trying to catch up.
Okay.
So I know when we really try to get more time in the day, our sleep is sacrificed. But I'm wondering, instead of sacrificing sleep, what else could be sacrificed instead? I mean, maybe save that episode for the weekend.
Hmm.
Maybe go clock out from work on time instead of putting an extra half hour like you normally do.
Yeah.
What can you sacrifice that's going to be more beneficial for you? rather than sacrificing your sleep.
Yeah, I know I find I waste my time on things that probably could use that time more efficiently for something.
Sure.
Maybe sleep, maybe not. But I find that when I wake up in the morning and I'm awake,
Hmm.
um, I feel like I might as well just get up. I'm not going to go
Yep.
back to sleep. I've got a whole bunch of shit to do, and all I'm going to do is lay here and think about it. So I might as
Yep.
well just get up and do it.
Agreed. Yep.
And then I think, oh, I'll just nap later.
Yeah. You
But
can.
but I don't usually because I'm too busy doing all the things I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah, and that's okay. If you don't need a nap, cool. And you're right. You would not do very well trying to just stay there and get more sleep. It's not going to be sleep, and if you do, it's not going to be restful. It's going to be a waste of time. You
Right.
might end up feeling more groggy after that.
Yeah. And then I've wasted all that time because not only did I not get sleep, I also didn't get anything done.
Yep, that's right.
So, yeah.
And that,
I mean, I think like things you could take, like instead of going out to lunch, you could make something quick and sit at your desk and eat it.
mhm,
And that'll save you an hour at least that you could
yes,
have sleep.
yeah, that's right. Exactly. It's so individual. It's totally dependent on your schedule, what you got going on, you know, how many kids you have and how many extracurriculars they're in and on blah, blah, blah. I mean, there's so many things that make all of our lives so unique. It really depends on what's going on with you and what's going on with your life.
Hmm.
If kids are waking you up early in the morning, maybe trying to do a different schedule for yourself so you can wake up with the kids a little bit more, but that really depends on your circadian rhythm too. Young kids, especially like toddlers through elementary school, they are definitely more morning oriented.
Yeah.
Yeah, which if you're a night owl, that's not fun for you.
Yeah. Dogs are too.
Yes, absolutely.
They know what
Yes.
time it is and they know that it's time to eat, and their clocks are way better than a regular clock
Mm-hmm.
as far as accuracy.
Oh yeah.
It is 5:42. 5:42 every morning. I'm like,
Wow.
really? We couldn't go till 6. We couldn't go till 5:45.
Mm-hmm.
No, as soon as they jump off the bed, I look at my clock and it's 5:42.
Yeah. Their circadian rhythm is definitely like clockwork then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get this calendar of life hacks,
Uh-huh.
and each day is a different life hack thing. And one of them was if you need to take your medication at a specific time every day and you have a dog,
Uh-huh.
give your dog a treat while you take your medication.
Oh.
And as you get used to it, as your dog gets used to it, your dog will remind you to take that
Mm,
medication at that time.
that's smart.
It's smart.
Wow. Yeah. Pavlovian. I love it.
Yep.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Wow. So let's kind of round this out by talking about how you can help get your circadian rhythm back on track. And the very first thing is it takes some discipline. It does, because if you're trying to go to bed at say like 11 p.m. every night, but your favorite show's not over till 11, it's going to take some discipline.
Hmm.
And it's tough because, you know, going back to parts of self, our kid part wants to play and stay up and have fun. At least that's my problem. My kid part is like, oh, but I don't have to do anything. And I don't want to go to bed because there's so many
Hmm.
fun things I want to do. But
Hmm.
it's like, is it really all that fun? It's not, especially in the morning. It's really not fun. So let your logical part override your kid part. It's going to be a little bit of a downer, but it's for the best in the long run. And of course, that's what
Hmm.
logical and responsible parts say. So, anyway, it's a little bit of discipline. What is it going to take for you to consistently get into bed at 11 p.m. every night? That's what uh, only you can determine. So, that's what makes it even more of a discipline thing. Only you can determine this for yourself. Sure, other
Hmm.
people can tell you, but do you really want other people to tell you go to bed? I don't.
No, I
Yeah.
don't like anybody telling me what to do. I don't even like myself telling me what to do,
Yeah,
but it's better than somebody else.
exactly. Yeah. Uh-huh. But yeah, so people say it takes 4 weeks to develop a habit that lasts. So it's
Hmm.
going to take 4 weeks for you to consistently go to bed at the same time and wake up at the same time. On the weekends, it's a little different, but make sure you have your sleep wakes cycle within about an hour give or take, of how you normally do it during the week.
Sure.
So if you're going to bed at 11 during the week and waking up at, let's say, 7, then make sure you're in bed by midnight and waking up by 8 on the weekends. So it's
Yeah.
just a matter of consistently setting this time for yourself. I'm going to bed at 11, I'm waking up at 7. And
Mm-hmm.
doing it regardless of how your body feels, regardless of your critical part being like, this is fucking stupid. I know it's tough. That's what I'm saying. Discipline. This is tough.
Yeah.
If you can do this for at least 4 weeks and get that routine down, then it's going to be a lot easier for you to just fall into this routine. Your circadian rhythm is going to want this.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just going to make it a lot easier on yourself eventually. Get over the
Mm-hmm.
hump, bust through that big wave. You'll
Yeah.
get to the smooth sailing.
Yeah.
So that's the number one thing. Get your circadian rhythm on track the way it wants to be.
Mm-hmm.
If you're falling asleep at like 10:30 and your bedtime's 11, you're doing great. That's
Mm-hmm.
fantastic. If your bedtime's 11, you're not falling asleep till 1, 2 in the morning, it's not so great. Takes a
Right.
little bit of discipline and get back on track. That's the number one thing. The second thing is some tools in your toolbox to help you fall asleep if you're struggling to fall asleep. And I know we kind of talked about that last episode.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just do a quick review. So focusing on the sensations of breathing is one of the
Mm-hmm.
easiest things that most people can do. I recommend this to almost everybody. Just the sensation of breathing from your nose to your belly button, just how it feels for that line. So how it feels with the air coming in through your mouth, how it feels coming down your throat, how your chest feels as it expands, how your lungs feel as they expand. And then when you exhale, how your stomach, your chest feel as your lungs contract and how the air feels coming back out of your mouth. So really just physically, how does it feel? Focusing on that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a type of meditation. It's a type of mindfulness. It's simple. If you're struggling with something that simple, then there are other things, of course.
Mm-hmm.
You were talking about a military thing that helps people
Mm-hmm.
fall asleep. Would you mind telling me about that some more?
I learned about it from an app I have called Better Sleep.
Uh-huh.
And it is just a 3 minute, it's called the military method for sleep. And this woman with this beautiful voice walks you through. First, she tells you the first minute or so of it is her explaining how it works and why it works and why it's used in the military. And it's because pilots and soldiers often need to sleep and they can't sleep because they're not in a comfortable position. They're not in a nice, cozy bed.
Mm-hmm.
They're, in a airplane or they're in a bunker or something. And so it's about like getting your brain out of where your body is
Yes.
and using the physical sensations of, like you said, the breathing out. She says, how does it feel in your nose and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then so you do the breathing thing for a while and then she has you imagine that you're on an island or on a beach somewhere
Mm-hmm.
and the waves are coming up and you're in a hammock and you can feel the sun on your face and you can
Mm-hmm.
feel the sway of the hammock and a little bit of a breeze and walks you through all that. And then there's at the end she goes through I think it's 10 times she says, don't think,
Mm-hmm.
don't think,
Yeah.
don't think. And it's to not let those things that are popping in there going, oh, you forgot to do that. Oh, don't,
Yep.
you can't go sleep yet. You forgot.
Yep.
So just to say, don't think,
Mm-hmm.
don't 10 times. And then by then you're pretty much out.
Oh,
It
wow.
works almost every time for me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's enough that she guides you through learning how to kind of memorize it so you don't have to listen to her all the time. I
Uh-huh.
still prefer to listen to her all the time because
Mhm.
it I love her voice and it helps me to sleep.
I love it.
But that's a nice quick thing that you can keep in your pocket for if you are somewhere and you even just in your bed, but just to get to sleep and not and kind of takes you out of the situation that you're in wherever you're sleeping. Maybe you're
Yeah.
cold, maybe you're hot, maybe you're uncomfortable,
Yeah.
maybe you're in a car, you
Uh-huh.
know, or on a plane. It was
Sure.
helpful when
I
I was
bet.
on the last trip I was on to do that. I did a
Yeah.
lot of meditation to try and sleep, and I did sleep pretty well. But
Yeah.
I ended up with no jet lag on the way there.
Oh,
Way back is
great.
a different story, usually
Sure.
how it is.
Yeah.
But But yeah, there's this app I have has a lot of meditations like that. But that military method is your keep that one in your pocket for if everything else fails.
Hmm.
That one will usually work.
Yeah, and it sounds like it would because the secret sauce we need is basically our bodies to physically relax enough and our brains to relax enough.
Yeah.
We can get our bodies to relax, but our brains are going a mile a minute, or vice versa.
Mhm.
Our bodies are super tense, but our brains like, why can't we just fall asleep?
Yeah.
Both have to be relaxed enough.
Yeah. And I find nothing works better than actually a guided meditation,
Yeah.
especially it's something to say like clench your jaw and then
Mm,
release it.
yes.
Because you don't even realize you're clenching your jaw until someone tells
Yeah.
you to clench it. And then you're like,
Mm,
oh, I was already doing that.
that's right.
And that feeling of really relaxing.
Hmm.
And like I mentioned before, I did this one meditation thing that guided me through relaxing every muscles I didn't know I had.
Yes.
And I was like, I can't believe I'm actually relaxed for probably the first time in my life. And I had had a pain in my neck for about a year and a half.
Oh,
And I went to a massage therapist. I did everything I could.
yep.
And it was that meditation that actually relieved it.
Hmm.
I was holding this whatever shit in my neck.
Hmm.
And it was probably emotional because it was right after my dad died.
Oh, yeah.
It was like the day after my dad died, it started.
Ah.
And I just thought I was sleeping funny. And I tried everything. And then finally, it was a meditation I did that actually had me relaxing every muscle in my body. And I was like, oh, my neck doesn't hurt anymore.
Yeah.
It was bizarre. So there's a lot. I mean, I can't say enough about that relaxation.
Hmm.
It's miracle.
Yeah, it really is. Yes, especially with everything being so stressful in this world, our bodies just can't take it chronically. I
Hmm.
know, again, I think last episode I said that chronic stress like adrenaline and cortisol eventually will kill you.
Hmm.
Lack of sleep will kill you. And
Hmm.
if you're super stressed, not getting enough sleep, well, you're going to have an early demise, unfortunately,
Hmm.
statistically. Can't guarantee. I don't want to guarantee that. I don't want to guarantee that, but statistically, yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm just piggybacking off of that. If you're super stressed, you're not getting a good enough sleep, then a lot of the time people end up developing bad habits that make it even worse, like drinking
Hmm.
or
Yep.
gambling or, addictive stuff, or even just
Hmm.
being just everything sucks, that none of that helps. It just adds to your stress and it's more of a sleep depleter. So
Hmm.
if you take away anything, try to relax. Relax your
Yeah.
mind, relax your body. That's meditations or mindfulness. It's yoga. It's focusing on pleasant stuff, practicing gratitude,
Hmm.
focusing on your strengths rather than weaknesses, what's going well rather than what's not going well.
Hmm.
Um, I could say that a lot of people might take this as like toxic positivity, but there is a big difference between practicing gratitude and toxic positivity.
Hmm. Hmm.
Gratitude is even though shit sucks, I can still appreciate the stuff that's not sucky
Hmm. Hmm.
and choosing to focus on that
Yeah.
instead. Just focusing on gratitude,
Hmm.
mindfulness, meditations, that's all going to help with sleep
Hmm.
at a minimum.
Yep.
So, does it feel like there's anything sleep wise that we didn't talk about that you think we should?
The only thing that we just touched on a tiny bit that I wanted to maybe circle back to is sleep paralysis.
Oh, sure.
Because I always thought that sleep paralysis was in your dream state so that you don't act out your dreams. I thought that's why our bodies went into sleep paralysis, so that we're not kicking and screaming and walking around and all that stuff while we're dreaming that we are. Because didn't you say that it happens in a different state?
Yeah. Yeah. So, REM sleep, that's definitely not when sleep paralysis happens because I mean, if sleep paralysis happened during REM sleep, we wouldn't have sleepwalking.
Hmm.
We wouldn't have REM movement if sleep paralysis was a thing during REM sleep. Um, REM, rapid eye movement. Our eyes are kind of going all over the place
Hmm.
when we're dreaming. That helps us it's part of the processing of dreaming.
Hmm.
And that's a big element of EMDR, eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. It's not just eye movements anymore, but that's basically how Francine Shapiro, the lady who developed EMDR, stumbled upon it.
Okay.
So sleep paralysis definitely comes in a different stage. It could come at the very beginning of REM sleep. It could come at the very end of REM sleep, but it's usually within the transition.
Oh, okay.
And so that's, I think, what makes it even scarier because it's in a transitional part of the sleep cycle.
Yeah. Okay. Because I have woken up before and I, well, at least I think I'm awake
Hmm.
and, and I can't move.
Yeah.
And usually there's, I see a shadow in the room that's actually, a coat or something, but my brain
Mhm.
turns it into a shadow man
Yeah.
and I can't get up and I'm stuck. And I always thought that that meant that I was asleep. But if I was asleep, that means I'm dreaming that shadow man.
Hmm.
And then I don't have sleep paralysis unless
Potential.
it's right in that, still in that cycle.
Yeah. So sleep paralysis, from what I understand, and I could be wrong because I haven't studied this extensively, but from what I understand, is your body's not quite out of that stage of sleep yet. Your brain might be, but your body's not quite yet.
Okay.
So just a disconnect between what's going on physically and mentally.
Okay.
But that's something else for me to look up
Interesting.
some more.
Yeah, we could do a follow up on that.
Yeah.
All
So
right,
I
we
was
are recording.
I was at lunch and I'm like, I better just double check my facts here. I'm like, good thing I did because I'm not quite right.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
so this is regarding sleep paralysis.
Yeah. Sleep
Okay.
paralysis. Yep. So apparently, sleep paralysis happens when you're transitioning into REM sleep or transitioning out of REM sleep.
Okay. I
And
thought that's
so,
what you said.
uh,
Maybe
yeah,
I
I mean,
misunderstood.
no, that is what I said, but not necessarily specifically transitioning into or out of REM sleep. I knew it was part of the transition.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, you were also correct. It is REM sleep where our muscles are supposedly paralyzed. So we don't
Okay.
act out our dreams and stuff. So you're correct on that. It was REM sleep that this tends to happen, not necessarily during, but getting into or getting out of.
Okay. Okay.
And essentially, it's called muscle atonia, which atonia is lack of tone. So no muscle tone means your muscles aren't working.
Okay.
So so that's the technical term. Muscle atonia happens during REM sleep.
Okay.
So sleep paralysis is basically your body's still in muscle atonia where your brain is out of REM sleep already.
Okay.
So you're a lot more aware. However, your body's just not caught up to what's actually going on.
Right. And that's terrifying.
It very well can be terrifying. Yes.
Yeah. Especially if you're coming out of a dream where there's a shadow man in your room.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So some of the things, basically Mayo Clinic, Cleveland Clinic, I looked this stuff up, just, get my facts straight, which is always good to go to
Sure.
experts. So
Sure.
anyway, basically what happens during sleep paralysis is you can have hallucinations, you can have anxiety and your stress response beyond while your body's not doing anything. So it can be downright terrifying. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. All
And
right.
it can last up to 20 minutes,
Oh,
right?
that's a long time for your brain to catch up.
It's a long time. Yeah.
And if you're laying there paralyzed in bed, it's going to feel a lot longer than that, even.
That's right. An eternity for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. So I also looked up sleepwalking, and that does not happen during REM sleep. That happens in the deepest non-REM sleep stage that we're in, that or can get into.
Okay.
So essentially, it's our bodies functioning without our brains being consciously aware. Our brains are still asleep, but our bodies are awake.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. So, like
That's
the
a trip.
scene in Step Brothers, where
I
Will
haven't seen
Ferrell
that.
and you haven't seen Step Brothers? Ah, Amy.
You and I are going to have like a movie weekend where you show me all these movies that I have never seen that you love.
Yeah, absolutely. That's got to be up there because the scene where they're both sleepwalking is one of the funniest scenes in any movie I've ever seen. It's just so
Hmm.
outlandish. They're just doing this crazy shit and they don't even realize it. And their parents come down the next morning and, oh, they did it again. It's so funny. So
Oh,
yeah, basically our bodies kind of go into like automatic stuff. Like some people get ready for their day, or some people have sex, or some people go to the bathroom, and they just stuff that their bodies are used to doing, but they're not consciously aware. Again, their brain's asleep, their body's awake. So that's sleepwalking. So, what threw me off earlier about REM sleep and being able to move or not move is I deal with a lot of PTSD, and people with PTSD don't necessarily have the muscle atonia during REM sleep like people without PTSD. And
oh,
so, if you hear about, like, for example, oh, my husband was having a PTSD nightmare and he punched me in the face and he didn't even realize what he was doing, and I've got this black eye because my husband was asleep and having a bad dream.
okay.
It's common. It's quite common. And a lot of the time, a partner or spouse or whatever of someone with PTSD that's bad enough, they'll end up sleeping in a different room, or try to wake them up. Or if they try to wake them up, it can get worse.
Hmm.
Um, but invariably, the person with PTSD, once they're actually awake and realize what's happened, it's so much remorse.
Mm,
Like,
of course.
of course, yeah.
Yeah.
If someone says they have a PTSD reaction, there's no remorse afterwards, it wasn't a PTSD reaction.
Ah,
I'm generalizing. That's a blanket statement, but that's usually how it goes.
usually an indicator.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is the fact that they don't have this atonia, is that like a survival mechanism because of their trauma? They can't be paralyzed because they have to be able to fight back kind of a thing?
I think that's an element. To me, it boils more down to what's going on with the stress response.
Mm,
And so, with the stress response being on, it's really hard to fall asleep, stay asleep,
sure.
and even if we are asleep and we have dreams, and if our stress response is on, our dreams reflect that, or the dream content will turn on the stress response,
Hmm.
or vice versa, chicken and egg, both at the same time.
Sure.
So a lot of the time, people with PTSD, one of the criteria that will say, you are diagnosable for PTSD is bad dreams, nightmares. Not just in general bad dreams and nightmares, but it's more specifically related to what the trauma or traumas were.
Sure.
And so trauma in and of itself turns on the stress response. Stress response never turns off the trauma. So if you've fallen asleep, things are fine, and then you start dreaming about things, and the dream takes a turn for worse, your stress response is on, your body's going to react.
Okay.
So essentially, it's a disconnect between what's going on with sleep cycle and the stress response.
Okay.
That's the best way I can put it without getting more
Okay.
scientific.
Yeah. No, that's good. I mean, that's basically what you said. It's just a little bit tweaky, a little bit of different stuff than what you originally said, but I'm
Yeah,
glad you cleared that up.
me too. I would feel like, fuck, I really should have said something about that, because I don't want to put out false information out there and be like,
Right.
oh, this is the truth when I was off.
Right, right. No,
I
I
I'd
need to do that in on our other show too. I'm always like doing voiceovers. I'm like, we were wrong. We were wrong. Here's the real thing.
Yeah, and I always appreciate that, because I want to know what the real thing is.
Sure, sure.
And I'm
Good.
sure our listeners do too.
I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do.
Yes.
I'll be sure to splice this in the middle as opposed to tacking it at the end. It's because those fingers start typing really quick. That's not right
Mm-hmm. Yep,
before they finish the episode. So, yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
All
It's all
right.
good. Thanks
Yeah.
for letting me correct myself.
Thank you for correcting yourself. All
Appreciate it.
good. All right.
We won.
It's fascinating. It's all fascinating to me, but dreaming is, yeah, it's wild. I've had some
Eh,
really weird dreams lately.
oh boy.
Not bad, just weird.
Okay. I'll take weird.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I always wake up and speak them into my phone, and I had three weird ones in a row, and I woke up after the first one. I was like, yeah, it was short. It was weird. And then
Uh-huh.
I went back to sleep, had another one, and I was like, I should probably document this. But then I fell asleep right away. Woke up, had the third one, and I was like, all right, I definitely have to document this. And I pulled
Uh,
down my phone and I turned on the recorder, and it wouldn't record because it
uh,
said it was recording something else, which it wasn't. Nothing else was open. This has
that's
happened before.
weird.
It's very weird. So I
Huh.
had to restart my phone And then I tried to go back to the dream and I could only remember a little bit of the third
Ah,
dream and I couldn't remember the other two at all.
damn.
I did finally remember bits and pieces of the other two as I
Hmm.
started just talking and being like, well, I think it had something to do with, and I'm like, oh yeah, it was, then it started to come back to me, but I still didn't get everything. I lost most of it, but, uh, yeah, I like to try and as soon as I can speak what I remember of that dream into my recorder
Yeah.
so I can keep track of it.
Hmm.
It's so weird to go back and listen to them too. I'm like, I don't remember having this dream at all.
That's great.
Weird.
Yeah. So one thing I gotta bring up since we're talking about dreams and dream content is a lot of time we'll dream about our loved ones who have passed, and it's just
Hmm.
a dream. But there are
Hmm.
some times where it's a dream where your loved one actually comes to say hello.
Hmm.
And there's a difference between the two. Do you know what the difference is?
I think it is whatever. I think you can tell the difference because of what your emotions are doing when you wake up or when
Yeah.
you realize it or when you talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're just like, oh, that was a weird dream. My grandma was in that dream, but she's dead. And I even asked her in the dream, aren't you dead? But it's if I have that and my whole body starts to tingle, and then I go, oh, I think that was real.
Yeah. 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 And it's going to be a little different for each person, of course, and each person who's dreaming and each person's loved one who comes to say hello.
Hmm.
For example, with my mom, I know I'm just having a dream if she's like talking with me and we're interacting with a whole group of people, like a family get
Hmm.
together or something. Like one dream, I asked her like, I need some help, and she's like, well, you can take grandma's car. I'm like, crazy grandma, really? No, that's no. So I knew it was a dream because it was kind of outlandish, but. Other times she's actually come to say hello and it's just very brief. She doesn't say anything. She just
Oh,
gives me a smile and a face that says what she needs to say, and that's that.
wow.
Very brief.
Yeah.
And how I feel waking up is definitely very different because it's always like, oh, when I wake up
Yeah.
versus, oh, okay, mom was in my dream, but yeah, that was a
Yeah.
weird one. Yeah.
Yeah. A friend of mine just the other day said, oh my God, I have to tell you about this dream I had. He said his father died like a year ago.
Ugh.
And he said, I dreamed that my dad, I was at his old house
Hmm.
and he said, I dreamed that my dad was there and he looked kind of gray,
Mm.
not like dead, but he looked just like he wasn't feeling well. And he said, I went and talked to him and I said, oh, it sounds like are you okay? You don't look great. And he was like helping him sit down and stuff.
Mm.
And then he said, I realized when I woke up that I think that was him visiting me.
Hmm.
And he said, oh my God, I'm getting chills just telling you about this. I haven't told anybody this yet. And I'm just now voicing it for the first time. And I'm feeling my whole body is like, and I'm like, yep, that was a visit.
Hmm. Yep,
I really think that was a visit.
I do too. Yeah. And our loved ones will come visit us in our dreams because that's when we're most receptive. A
Yeah.
lot of, yeah. And you know this better than I do. So tell us about how people are more receptive in their dreams.
Oh, I just know that just because of the dead files.
Right.
And Amy Allen talking about when she goes to visit these people and she's trying to, help them figure out what's going on in their house. And they'll be like, this woman comes to me in a dream and she told me how she died. And she told me that she was murdered and she didn't throw herself out of a building. And then we find out that's actually true.
Yeah.
And then Amy will say, it's because they come to us when we're sleeping because that's when we are the most open.
Yeah.
And that is when our brains are working very quickly,
Hmm.
but they are more open to things that we can't see
Yes.
with our regular
Absolutely.
eyes.
Yep. Absolutely. Um, I can reference this to a pop culture thing. If you've ever seen Ghosts, at least the U.S. version of Ghosts,
Yeah.
Sass gets to go visit Jay in his dreams, and that's the only time Jay actually gets to interact with any of the ghosts.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's just pretty funny how I can just incorporate that because it's meant to be funny. It's supposed to
Yeah.
be a comedy show, blah 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 blah, but it's actually based on some real stuff.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I do like that show.
It's funny.
I saw the British one first, and then when I saw the American one, I was like, bleh. an American version of a good British show, but now I'm watching more of the American one and I do like it.
Yeah, I have
It
to
is
watch the
cute.
British one. I haven't seen that one yet.
It's really good.
I bet.
It's good. You might not like it as much just because you saw the American one first.
Sure.
Usually it's whatever you saw first is the one that you like the best, but I like them both.
I'm sure I'd like them both too. So, sleep, if I'm going to wrap up, it's probably one of the most important things you can do for yourself is
Hmm.
give yourself good quality sleep every night if you can. Your older self will definitely thank you later when you don't have Alzheimer's, hopefully.
Hmm.
Plus, the more quality sleep you get consistently throughout your life, the healthier aging you will achieve.
Hmm.
Essentially, just less stress. You're not going to age physically as badly
Your
as you
skin will be
could.
better.
Yes. Uh-huh. So, I mean, it's not just cosmetic, it's just general overall health. Your overall health will be better into your older years if you
Hmm.
consistently get sleep throughout your life.
Great.
That's in a nutshell. Sleep.
That's it. Get some sleep,
Get
people.
some sleep. That's right. Go to bed.
This Way In is co-produced by Brittney Baxter Dameron and me, Amy Lotsberg, at Collected Sounds Media. I also edit and manage the show, which is part of the Collected Sounds Independent Podcast Network.